Hey guys, welcome back. So right behind me, right outside that window beside me is an atrocious mess of overgrown plants on my front walkway. I desperately need to get out there and work, but something happened about a week and a half ago. I was attacked by a family of yellow jackets who terrorized me, and now I kind of have a fear to go outside. I will be wearing a hat. I have on multiple layers. I will be wearing closed-toe shoes. I will have the water hose at the ready. We're actually going to be working in the area where one of the nests, we had two separate nests. One of the nests was found. I'm going to have to weed right there. I will be wearing my rose gloves that I wear. And I will be probably petrified the entire time. But it has to get done because no one can walk up the walkway. Like UPS people, my family, people come to the front door. It has become an overgrown mess, and I'm going to show it to you, and then we're going to get busy and we're going to make things better. Also, we're going to stay safe. Oh, we're had to. We've got to keep an eye out for those yellow jackets. It just rained, so I don't see anything flying around right now, no pollinators. So I'm hopeful we can get a lot done before the next shower comes along and before the sun comes out and there's a bunch of flying insects everywhere. Shit, I thought it was something. Okay, sorry. Okay, this is where the first attack happened, right? I was standing right there. All I was doing was watering in this area. So we have to clean this area up today as well. Right in there is where the first huge yellow jacket nest was. I'll show you where all we have to tidy up today. Pretty much everything you see, but most importantly, here on the driveway, all that has to get cut up again, trimmed up. I did a lot of trimming a couple months ago on the red twig dogwood, so it looks pretty good at this point, but all of this has to get trimmed. And it's literally right where the nest was. I hope there is no one left in there that will come out and sting me. Normally this area is very active with all kinds of pollinators, not just yellow jackets, but all kinds of pollinators, because there's a lot of beautiful flowering stuff. I think I'm okay to work right now because it's nice, cloudy, not a lot of rain right now, but it will rain on and off today. And this is where the second yellow jacket nest was. Literally, this is where I park, right next to my van. I've been parking quite a bit farther away than normal. I'm usually really close to this wooden edging here. You can see there's tons of weeds. We need to get back in there. We need to weed, clean up. But I'm still very, very, very fearful. I mean, that's where their nest was, right in there. But there's so many things to take care of. Look at all these weeds. This is actually a tobacco plant. I grew tobacco back in this area, flowering. It was decorative about 2 years ago, but the seeds are still in this bed, and I'm still finding little seedlings that pop up. I'd like to transfer him. And then you can see the walkway. It's not really a walkway anymore. It is unbearable. I can't even walk past here. All this has to get trimmed up. Even the peach tree. I'm going to take off about 2 feet so it's not hanging over the walkway anymore. You can see just a million gazillion weeds everywhere. And then all this chocolate mint has to go. These tomatoes are growing out of control. And look at that. You can't even walk there. This is horrible. Horrible, horrible. We are going to do major cleanup, or I'm going to do major cleanup. I may put the video on here and there, but I think what I'm going to do to be efficient, because I'm kind of afraid out here, I feel very vulnerable to a yellow jacket attack again. I am going to just quickly work, then I'll give you an after. So here you are right now with the before. It's just a mess of not even being able to walk. And in a minute we'll come back. It'll feel like a minute to you. It'll be like probably a day or two to me. We will come back and show you the after. Yeah, you can't even walk through here. This is just atrocious. And this is also not safe. especially for my poor husband who just had ankle surgery. And I just had to take my daughter this morning we went. Last night, a horse stepped on her foot. She was cleaning out a stall, and thought, oh shoot, there is a wasp. Okay, yeah, so I'm very still fearful. I'm gonna have to work on that. It's kind of hard though. Okay guys, I'm gonna go move my van and then we're gonna get started. I wouldn't mind a little light drizzle of rain right now to keep these guys back where they belong, just until I get done. It's another before we get started. All of this lemon balm will get cut back too. It's flowering and I really don't want it in my path. And then this ninebark is way too far out. Way too far out. Oh my gosh, that scared me to death. Oh my gosh. Okay. There is praying mantis, which, you know, they eat a lot of pests. It just scared me, that's all, because I'm in hyper alert mode, hyper alert for flying things. So he must be living in this area because I've seen him quite a few times the last month or two. Okay. Ooh, that scared me. I'm scared of everything now. I used to not be afraid. Oh, and it looks like the bees are coming out because I see a honeybee. Oh, good thing I didn't step on him. I've got clover. They love the clover. I'm going to try not to step on him or get near him. Okay, so we're going to trim up the ninebark, the lemon balm. We're going to cut back all of these. This is leopard lily or blackberry lily. You can see it's got a beautiful flower, but it's invasive. The seeds come out, they go everywhere. Birds transfer them. So we need to cut this back before this, whoa, there's something flying. Okay. Clean all this up. You can see I kind of just stopped what I was doing about a month ago. I was trying to move my black blueberries, 2 of them up front here. Okay, and then we clean up all this mess. There is my sweater from a week and a half ago. There was a YellowJacket in there from my second attack. I just whipped it off, left the YellowJacket inside and all my tomatoes in the pocket. I really should probably try to get that in the house and washed. And we won't even talk about this mess today or this week or this month. Okay, so step 1, I've got some soil, nice and damp from the rain. And I've got this bin, and I'm starting to see a lot of things flying around. So this might be a very long video because I might have to just extend it over the course of many, many, many days. And I mean, I used to not have any fear at all to be standing surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of pollinators, but I'm just a little bit uneasy, especially in all these layers I'm burning up. And I've got the hat on, very hot. But I think what I can get done right now, cut the peach tree, cut off a bunch of the ninebark. And so what I'm going to do with the ninebark is take cuttings, put them in there, keep them moist, and hopefully they'll root. I did have some cuttings that survived over winter, and then the squirrels would absolutely not leave them alone. Every time I planted it, it had roots, it was in a pot, it looked cute. They would dig it up. They could not stand for that ninebark to be in a pot for some reason. So, I'm not sure if I get to cut the lemon balm right this second, but this is where we're starting. Ninebark, peach tree, maybe the lemon balm. Maybe I'll spray it with a hose and maybe that'll keep the pollinators away while I'm working. If they see that it's saturated with water. Not sure, but I love ninebark. It's one of my favorite plants. Isn't it gorgeous? It is huge. It is beautiful. I love it with the peach tree. I actually love the lemon balm underneath too, normally, not when it's flowering. It looks kind of ugly right now. But let's get some cuttings. I normally just cut right through here. There's a stepping stone. You can see the ninebark is in the way for sure. I was going to make a video on cuttings from pruning and cleaning up. You can see all those red twig dogwood. Those are from like 2 months ago. So I'm going to say they have roots because they look lush and green. And I did a similar thing as I'm doing right here. Take a cutting, take off all the lower leaves, and then hopefully roots will develop and then I can pot up. Specifically for this ninebark, I'm looking for a soft, tender growth. This is new growth right here. It's beautiful. I love the color. Very flexible. You can, oops, almost too flexible. So I'm going to cut off quite a bit of this and put that down in there to root. Should do well. And I may still do that video. May put this clip in there though, because I'm not sure if I'll cut this again this year if we do a really good job right now. I just had to run in the house. Something landed on my hat. It was a flying insect that landed on the top of my head on my hat. So I ran in the garage, threw my hat down, and then ran in the house and then checked myself in the mirror. It's going to be a very slow job, guys. But I wanted to show y'all. So if you happen to cut a very long arm that is really too long to root, just cut it into 2 pieces. See, I cut above a leaf node set there. Put the bottom down in, and then this is the top part of that long arm cutting. I just removed all the lower leaves, stuck it down in the most moist soil. Fingers crossed we get lots of beautiful ninebark cuttings, because I do love that plant. It's already looking so much better just with that little bit of trimming. Definitely making very slow progress. I've already ran inside at least 4 times to check and make sure I have nothing on my back. So I'm coming up with this idea to get this quickly trimmed. I'm just going to pull back the lemon balm and cut it way back. I've done that many times. It will completely regrow even if there are no leaves showing. I'll leave a few though. And I will put some mulch down as well. And the very minute I decide I'm going to trim it, 3 bees, carpenter bees. So, guess I'll wait till they leave. 1 just left. Nice and trimmed up. The humidity is 85%, so I am sweating in all of these layers. I am finding some coleus. So what I'm going to do is go through this weedy mess, look for coleus, relocate them amongst the lemon balm to kind of fill it in and make it look better until it grows back in. And the coleus will do awesome there, because here in the South, Central Virginia, they do not do well in the sun. They do well in the shade. And this is a beautiful volunteer from last year that self-seeded itself. And I have a feeling I'll find quite a few more as I weed it, this horrible mess.
Where'd it come from?
I think it's about stopping time for the day, but first I'm going to relocate that ornamental tobacco, put him right under the peach tree, kind of right there. He's kind of used to being in the shade, so I think he'll do really excellent there. Yeah, so it's about 4 o'clock. The humidity is probably 90% at this time, and I need to stop. So this will have to be another day, maybe in the rain, because there's been a lot of activity as it's gotten hotter today. I actually thought I might have seen something that looked like a YellowJacket. So I'm going to relocate that guy, and then it's time for break until tomorrow. It is mid-August, quite a bit longer. So much time has went by, guys, but we're going to complete this project. You can see all of the lemon balm that I cut back has new, fresh growth. Looks really nice. I did trim up the ninebark quite a bit. Looks good. It even started to flower, which usually does not happen except in the spring. So pretty. I did transplant a few coleus down in here too, and they are pretty happy. And that tobacco plant, he grew. He took to that transfer pretty well. These cuttings did not do too well. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go through, I'm going to see if any are viable. And if not, they can just get composted. But I do think maybe a couple may have developed roots. Other than what you see here, I did nothing else in the long amount of time that has passed. But I'm going to work on it, guys. It is horrendous over here. Calla lilies out of control. Weeds out of control. Even back here, it's gotten ridiculous. Because I've got that explosion of the calla lilies, I am going to pot some up into this container with my orange marmalade lily and some dianthus here. I'm just going to put some on both sides so that I have a good start for when we get relocated with some pretty calla lilies. And I think this is like a purpley color. Yeah. So maybe put about 2 or 3 more. So I got the calla lilies planted here in this container. I went ahead and put my caladium and the seed box that I received in a plant trade. Finally planted. They had been sitting in their containers. It's looking a little bit better over here. Long way to go. Have to start back up tomorrow. But look at this pile. And as I was cleaning the calla lilies, I accidentally cut off a few flower bulbs. I'm not sure if they will bloom inside. They're kind of immature. But I'm going to clean them up, soak them in some water, and then put them in a vase. Especially these two. See if maybe I get some kind of a flower development. But they are very, very immature. It's a few more days later. And I'm not sure how well the calla lily babies took to being uprooted and relocated. We shall see. Now, traditionally, or by most people's standards, calla lilies are a very high perennial plant, like zone, I don't know, 8, 9, 10. But I'm a zone 7B-ish, almost 8. Calla lilies just live in the ground here and come back every year, at least this variety. Not sure about a container though. That takes away at least, let's say, 2 zones, 2 growing zones. So I'm not sure these will make it. Although there was one in this pot that kind of self-seeded itself that was already here before I relocated any. I'm thinking maybe it's possible. We'll see. Next spring, late spring, we'll see if any of these are still hanging around. Okay, so over the weekend, I trimmed up the shrub, this boxwood, with an electric trimmer. I didn't do the best job, but good enough. It's probably not really the right time of year. This boxwood has struggled over the last, goodness, I'd say 5 to 8 years, but then it made a turnaround in the last 2 to 4 years. It actually has grown and recovered, and I think it's worth keeping because it's so huge. So I did trim it, tried to make a flat top. Now what we're going to do, instead of cleaning up all the debris, and instead of weeding, I'm just going to put down cardboard and mulch, I think. Although the mulberry weeds are so intense this year, everywhere, not just here in this area, all over the garden. Everywhere I go, I see mulberry weeds. All right, so we will get busy and see if we can get this walkway under control. I am also covering up an old YellowJacket nest. It was right kind of in that area in front of the mosquitoes are after me. Light, the solar light. We did have it treated. It was about 2 months ago. Did not get very far yesterday. But today is a new day. So far I've only been getting like 20-30 minutes in the evening after I get dinner done to come work on this project. I do see 2 more of the tobacco plants. I'm going to dig them up. I'm going to, oh, I see a tomato too. It's a little tomato plant. Did y'all just hear that? Big old branch just fell in the woods. I'm gonna have to go look. So before I start weeding and putting down more cardboard throughout this area, just gonna take a peek and see if there's anything I want to salvage. I think those 2 plants, maybe if there's a tomato there growing, will be about it. Yeah, so many weeds. I am going to go ahead and remove the red twig dogwood cuttings, put those somewhere else. They're starting to get powdery mildew from being back there in the shade. And I'm going to go ahead and move this container as well. And I'll make a whole separate video on cuttings. It's possible maybe 2 or 3 and this whole bunch survived. ninebark has been really hard for me to propagate through cutting. It's happened, I have done it, but it is difficult. You can see the deer have come through, topped several of the coleus. It's not their preferred food, but when they're hungry, they absolutely will do that. Now, I did have a tomato plant on both sides of this knockout rose. They have passed. Yeah. Have to use a little grabber because we do have snakes. Different snakes. A couple of venomous snakes, so before I start putting my hand down in here to weed, just kind of moving things around. So if somebody wants to leave, they can leave. These are the red twigs that we're going to relocate somewhere else and maybe pot up if they're ready. They should be. It's been a while. So let's talk for a quick second about plants and plant placement. And this would be a good example, this turtlehead, of a good decision on my part. Sometimes I make bad decisions and put the plants in the wrong spots, and then I have to move them or regret it or have to deal with the consequence. But for this guy, it's a native to my area. I don't have to fertilize it. I don't even have to prune it. I don't have to do anything. It looks gorgeous and beautiful. So I have a section in a container back there. That is a broken container that is broken on the back side, and I didn't want to throw it away. So I stuck it in the corner, divided some of this turtlehead. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was maybe 2 falls ago. It's doing great. It's also doing great in the ground. This bunch I probably planted 4 years ago, and I did it for a very specific reason, and that was to dry up this corner that's by my house, because we had issues with mosquitoes. If you'd go to sit up on the porch, there'd be lots of mosquitoes in this area. It was so damp. Even though the vinca minor was already here when I moved here, it wasn't enough. So now that the turtlehead is here, and it loves to drink up extra moisture, it likes the shade, this is just the perfect spot for it. It's flourished, it's dried up that area, kept this corner really dry, even on the siding, so it didn't get like a mildew kind of moldy growth from all the dampness that used to pool in this area. So this is a great plant. Really happy with it. I will utilize it in the future if I have a similar problem. All weeded under here. Starting to work through here. Relocated those cuttings. You can see it is a little damp back in here. I do see a few mosquitoes flying. So I will be sprinkling some mosquito bits back in here where it stayed kind of damp. Under that pot was definitely kind of damp. I know that's contradictory to what I just said with these guys. This area is nice and dry, but I had I had water in this. I had water in that lid. So anywhere you leave water, mosquitoes are going to put down their larvae. All right, so I'm going to move this out. This is where I keep my outdoor dry fertilizers, and I'm going to put some diatomaceous earth back behind it, and maybe along the bricks, the house exterior here, and see what all I got in here. I really haven't even been able to access this because of all of the mess that was back through here. Plus, remember, I had a YellowJacket's nest right under the shrub. So I've kind of been avoiding this area. I'm starting to feel more comfortable in this area, obviously, because I've been sticking my hand down under there. But yeah, I'm going to clean up in through here and see if I need to do some pest control back behind there. The mosquito bits would be great to put back in there too, especially where the water might drip. I have no idea what that is. It has wings. They are a vibrant blue, cobalt blue. Maybe it was something that was hibernating underground already. I was pulling some crabgrass and it just come on out of the ground. So since it does have wings and it kind of looks creepy like a wasp, I think I'm going to go away for a few minutes and then I'll come back. Here is my pretty little tomato plant. He is one of the seedlings that developed from last year's seed. In that area I had artisan blush last summer. So I'm going to assume this is artisan blush. It actually looks like an artisan blush seedling. So I've got 2 of the tobacco plants. I've got this tomato plant. We got to get in the ground before we are done today. I think we've gotten to the point where I'm going to use that space right there, dump out that bag of mulch that's been sitting there since April, maybe May. Dumping it out first because so many times, well, 2, maybe 3, I know 2 for sure, I've had a snake in my bag of mulch. So we're going to dump it out first instead of sticking our hand straight down in that mulch bag. You might have asked the question, why did you not leave that tomato seedling there if you normally do grow tomatoes right here next to your rows? And I have the space, but because we treated the YellowJacket nest with some kind of chemical poison, I didn't feel safe eating the fruits from those plants this summer. And so that is why that little seedling will get relocated. And by the time he's big enough to make fruits, hopefully there's no residual effects from that poison. But the other 2 plants that were here, they were foxfire pink. They looked gorgeous here with this knockout rose. They actually, I didn't eat any of the fruits. And then eventually they got blight and died. I just didn't want to take the chance with the YellowJacket poison because it's so close, right under the boxwood to right here. Just too close for comfort for me.
Quit hiding. Go this way. Go this way. There he is. Run. He wants to strike. Hit. 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 You sure he's gonna?
Yeah. All right, there it is. It's back. What in the heck is that? Weed pile is growing, making progress. Accidentally broke off this piece of the turtle head, but look, it had been touching the ground, so it has roots. So I'm going to put it in a pot somewhere, I'm not sure where yet. Maybe that pot right there. So pretty. So I've replanted this columbine here, I'd say 2 months ago, a month ago. It did flower. It's already dropped its seeds, and there is a seedling. And I have a bunch of other seedlings I've been collecting. So I think since the columbine seems kind of happy back here, I'm going to put a whole kind of a bent out curve of them in front of the turtlehead, so that maybe it can give it a little bit of support. And I think it'll look pretty. It seems to be playing well with the turtlehead and the vinca minor and the creeping jenny. And it's so pretty when it flowers. So now I've made it to the wall, mulberry and 3 mercury weeds. These 2 seem to grow together nonstop. I don't know why, but I'm just going to keep working. I've made a 2-foot dent. I'm going to relocate that seedling first and just keep going, because guess what? Soon these guys are going to drop 1,000,000 seeds, and then we'll have to deal with this problem again. Definitely making progress. So many weeds. Now I just need to start covering with my mulch. Lovely chive patch right here with my rose. It's been going steady for quite a while on its own. Self seeds, continues to come back. Bigger each year. It's really beautiful. These are what the babies look like. They will be flowering really soon. Somewhat where we left off last night, I was talking about the beautiful chives. They will be blooming here shortly, maybe in a week or 2-ish. But I have a lot of cuttings, different things I'm trying to salvage, including a few cuttings off of the sky pencil, a few cuttings off of my purple heart tomato plant that I took out that was in a container, and then the turtle head that I saved. I am making progress though. It is the next day, and I am putting down mulch And in the process, working back in that corner, I am removing all of the lucifer bulbs from this area. Total mess, total bad choice of mine. Will not be putting them anywhere near a walkway again. You can see the bulb. I could either dry these out and plant them later, or I have an idea of where I'm going to put them. You can see they multiply pretty easily. Just cutting off the tops, saving the bulbs. Half I will save for later use. The other half I'm going to rebury somewhere else. Saving the tops for a mulch. We'll do a chop and drop somewhere. Got a long way to go though. I forgot to go get those seedlings for the columbine. I need to go do that. So far we only have 3 here. 1 seedling, 1 piece accidentally broke off from division, and then the original plant. Now, one thing that I've done over the last, let's say, few years that's been positive is that I've almost completely eradicated wild strawberries from this bed. There are still a couple. I'm going to have to climb over there. I see a couple. See if I can zoom in. So I'm going to get them. Fingers crossed. I'm getting to the end of that invasive weed. I consider it a weed. Now, I am still over here taking out the lucifer bulbs. Got a long way to go. And then I'll put that planter back in some fresh mulch. I see another mulberry weed. Definitely making small progress. Well guys, this video feels so oppressively long. And honestly, things don't look too much differently than they did when I started, about, what, 6 weeks ago? At least on the surface and on the front side of my walkway here. But if you walk around here, YouTube, everything looks completely different and usable, walkable, really, really much more functional. So tomorrow I will pick up and I will start a new video. But I'm going to go ahead and end this one. This will be part 1 because it is so long. And it took me so long to get to this point. Alright guys, well I hope you're having a great gardening week. And I will talk to you soon.